Good morning, and thank you for being here. Thank you to the Pinole Valley Jazz Band. And director Eric Radkowitz. For those of you who don't know, Eric was named one of the top 50 band directors in the United States last year. I also want to recognize our elected officials that we have joining us, starting with our Board of Education. President of the Board of Education, Liz Block. Trustee Tom Panis. Trustee Mr. Phillips. And I know they're watching through our Facebook Live feed, Trustee Val Cuevas and Trustee Madeline Cronenberg. Some other electeds who are with us this morning, or not all electeds, but VIPs as well. Tiffany Harris, President of the Bayside Council of PTAs. Bill Lindsay, Richmond City Manager. Chris Kelly from the Hercules City Council. Dr. Fatima Allen, Contra Costa County Board of Education. Karen Fenton, former WCCUSD board member. And Antonio Medrano, former WCCUSD board member. Paul Morris, San Pablo City Council. Paul Fideli, El Cerrito City Council. Audrey Miles, former WCCUSD board member. Janet Bradfield, Teamster 856 representative. Rod Adams and Rudy Gonzalez from the Teamsters. Kim Chamberlain from our School Site Supervisors Association. Sharon Lambie and Sarah Danielson from our Administrators Association. Janet Abelson, El Cerrito Mayor. State Assembly Member Tony Thurmond. And County Supervisor John Joya. I'm going to invite County Supervisor Joya up to do a quick welcome and share a few words with us. On a personal note, getting to know John, I've really appreciated your partnership. Mr. Joya is definitely Mr. West County. He is everywhere and all things to this place, so thank you, and thank you for your support.
Good morning, West County family. We are a family, right? Before I give an official welcome, let me just say, since we have Assemblymember Thurmond here, don't we want to make it possible for a former West Contra Costa Unified School District board member to become the superintendent of schools in the state of California? Yes. We want to keep it in Contra Costa, right? Because Tom Torlakson is from Contra Costa, so we're going to keep it in Contra Costa. So it's going to be 16 years in Contra Costa, Tony. But we have to get out and work for him and support him. So let me start by saying to all of you, because I look out around this audience, and you are what makes West Contra Costa County great and what makes us go. I see so many great activists from nonprofits and cities and private sector and labor unions. Thank you very much for being here, because you being here shows your commitment to making our schools better, making the lives of families here in West Contra Costa County better. So let me start by saying thank you for taking the time and being here and for your work throughout the year. You know, I'm a product of this school district. I went to El Cerrito High School, and my father taught for many years at Go Gauchos, yes. My father taught for many years at Kennedy High School, so go Eagles. And the one thing I know is that the teachers and staff in this school district are among the greatest we have in this state, and I know they are all committed to making students' lives better, and I want to acknowledge how hard the students appreciate the teachers and how hard those teachers and staff work, right? And I know we're all here because we're committed to making West Contra Costa a world-class school district, right? And I know that our superintendent's committed to doing that. Our school board's committed to doing that. And we're here to listen to our superintendent talk about the state of the schools. And I want to just say, I've really had the pleasure of working with Matt over the last year because I think, as you know, he doesn't see his work in just a silo, that it's just about the work of a superintendent in the schools, that he sees it as a partnership with the community, with the parents, with other families, with community-based organizations, with labor unions, with the private sector, with the cities, with the county, and that's how we get things done, and that's how we're effective. And I've appreciated him rolling up his sleeves and understanding those partnerships and stepping into West Contra Costa and learning our community. Thank you very much for that, Matt. And what I have found is he listens, right? He listens as he learns, and he listens to the teachers, the parents, and I think that is so vital. And I think we've had a successful first year under Matt Duffy, right? I think we have. And it's going to get better, right, Matt? It is going to get better. And I just wanted to highlight, I think, and it's on the cover of our program, the whole child, whole community phrase. I think that's really what's at the core, I know, of a lot of what the school district is doing and how that draws in the work, I know, of Assemblymember Thurman's office, the county, the cities, and the community. It's the continued focus on the whole child, right, with the expansion of full-service community schools. And I know we all believe that when you strongly support the whole child and their family, that the research shows that a child and a student's performance is better. We know that. The child performs better in school when we support the whole family. And it's the child, the family, the community. And I'm proud, for example, that the partnership between the county, the school district, and a number of nonprofits has resulted in every high school in this district having health services. That is an amazing thing that not all school districts can claim credit for. And that is because of a partnership. And you know, just over the last year, we have formed some new partnerships. We've formed a teacher housing task force with Assemblymember Thurman's office, our Congressman DeSaulniers' office, my office, and the school district to explore how we can have affordable housing for teacher and staff right here in West Contra Costa Unified School District, because we know that is important, and we need to continue to recruit and maintain teachers, and the leadership of the school board and the superintendent is part of that. And finally, we formed a recent partnership to improve lives around families in Lavagna Dijon Middle School. So I am really looking forward to rolling up my sleeves just as Matt does. Matt is known, here he is, he's got his sleeves rolled up, because that's what he's known for. You know, he knows that by rolling up your sleeves, working with many to hear them out and find solutions is where it's at. I'm really happy you're here. It's great to work with you. I'm looking forward to another, not just year, but few years of continuing to work with you to make the lives of students and families better. Thank you very much, Matt.
One of the reasons we have this event each year is to thank some of the people who help this district provide for its students and families. Since 2006, the district has honored a few members of our community with partnership awards in order to acknowledge their support for the district and its programs. This year, we honor 6 individuals who have each made a significant and lasting contribution to the work we do in supporting our students and families. These honorees have been leaders and partners in this district, and we want to thank them for all they do. Our first partnership award goes to Ken Barrick, founder and CEO of the Seneca family of agencies. Ken, will you please join me on stage? Wait right here. So let me tell you about Ken. Ken has been an invaluable resource to the students and families of our school district for more than 30 years. And since 2003, he's also served as a trustee on the Alameda County Board of Education. Ken has been integral in providing support to counseling-enhanced classrooms, beginning with coordinating clinical services through the Transition Learning Center and the Transitional Education Program. Under his watch, his staff has provided intensive wraparound services to district families and has developed a model of unconditional education, which is being implemented at several of the elementary schools here in Richmond. Please join me in thanking Ken Barrick for his decades of service to our students and families. I invite Ken to say a few words.
I feel a little like the producer that gets up at the end of the Academy Awards and everybody goes, "Who the heck is that?" Right? Because everybody knows that it's our team, and will you please stand, and our principals and our partners that make this happen. And Steve Collins, wherever you are, for 20 years, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, hung in there together with us. We feel privileged. I feel privileged to have this partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. When I arrived in the district, it was just beginning its campaign to extend its parcel tax. I have to admit to being a little worried. How was I supposed to focus on anything if one of my first challenges would be cutting nearly $10 million a year from our budget if we didn't get this parcel tax? Riding in to help us sort through that are our next 2 partnership awardees, Genevieve Calloway and Demetrio Gonzalez, who were co-chairs of the Measure T campaign. Please come join me on stage. As you know, Measure T won more than 76% of the vote in November, extending the parcel tax until 2027. Those dollars fund core academic programs, class size reductions, after-school programs, and athletics, and help us attract and retain quality teachers. I brought them both up here, but I want to say something specific about each one. Vice Mayor Genevieve, who I forgot to mention earlier as one of our elected officials, Vice Mayor Genevieve, and the City of San Pablo have been true partners. The City of San Pablo has a full-service community schools initiative, which is working hand in hand with us to turn each school in their city into a full-service community school with the resources necessary to support our students and their families with the resources necessary for their success. Additionally, the City of San Pablo has devoted $647,000 to fund several nonprofits' efforts to coordinate and implement programs at district schools, including out-of-school education and care, youth leadership, and violence prevention and intervention. Genevieve, thank you for your continued advocacy. Next, we welcome a true partner of the district, Demetrio Gonzalez. Besides talking every day for a couple hours about all the issues in our district, Demetrio and I share the same vision for our students and our teachers, In addition to leading efforts on Measure T and Proposition 55, he's strongly advocating for better conditions for our students and our teachers, and can often be found in the forefront of social justice initiatives. Demetrio, thank you for your partnership and service, and I invite either of you or both of you to say a few words. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and I'm really honored and humbled to receive this award, and I pledge to continue working for all of our students in West Contra Costa Unified School District. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. I'm also very honored that I'm being awarded this today. I think that it's not just, I see this not just for me, but really for all teachers in West Contra Costa. I think that this was definitely a team effort, and I think that Measure T proved to me that we can work in collaboration with so many partners, and when we work together, we can really, truly achieve so much change. So I'm truly honored to be here, and this is dedicated to all of our unsung heroes, our teachers. Thank you.
Next, we recognize Christopher Bryden, a Vice President for Sprint and a member of the Kensington Municipal Advisory Council. The district has been working with its teachers and its staff to put technology in the hands of every student. But we had a concern about those families who did not have access to internet at home. Christopher Bryden and Sprint stepped in to help us in a tremendous way. Thanks to multiple programs, including the 1 Million Sprint Project, more than 2,100 district students will receive internet connectivity through hotspot devices. These initiatives boost the district's one-to-one tablet initiative and will provide a tablet to each one of the district's 29,000 students by the end of November. Please join me in thanking Christopher.
Good morning and thank you. I'd just like to say I'm proud to be a thread in the fabric that makes up this community. And thank you to John, who originally introduced me to Mary. And then Mary and I have worked together for several years. It's integral that our students are able to connect to the internet today. And I'm proud to be part of it. So I thank you on behalf of myself, John for connecting me, Mary for making it possible, and the 30,000 associates at Sprint that fund the program that provide the service to the community. So thank you very much.
And just a note on that, if you do know any one of our families or any one of our students who does not have internet connectivity, please let us know. Mary is there. We have all of these hotspots, thanks to Sprint, that we're passing out to all of our students and families. So just please let us know. The next person being recognized has been a partner with the district for a number of years, supporting our arts education program. Today we honor Dr. Eric Ingdahl, Chair of the Department of Teacher Education at Cal State East Bay, for his work in helping us recruit teachers. Eric, please join me on stage. Thank you. One of the keys to a high-performing educational system is ensuring we're able to recruit and retain highly qualified and committed educators. This has been a concern, as you will see later in my presentation. Without the efforts of Eric and his colleagues at Cal State East Bay, this would be even more difficult. For the last 5 years, Eric has helped qualify more of our community members to become teachers. And last year, Dr. Engdahl and the CSU East Bay team were instrumental in helping the district receive and implement the Classified to Teacher grant, which sends classified employees to college to earn their teaching credential. Eric, thank you for your efforts in this area.
I want to thank you for this award. I'm really gratified to get it. This is the beginning, I think, now of my 12th year of partnership with this district. First through the East Bay Center for the Performing Arts and now at Cal State East Bay. And I look forward to continuing the partnership and doing some real work with this district. And even though politically I have to say that all 65 districts that I work with across Alameda and Contra Costa counties are important, West Contra Costa has a special place in my heart, and I'm glad to be working with it. Thanks.
Our final award winner needs no introduction from me. Tony Thurmond, would you please come to the stage? Assembly Member Tony Thurmond is well known in these parts, having served as a member of the Richmond City Council and a member of our Board of Education. Now, as the Assembly member representing our area, he continues to be a leader and advocate for issues that affect our students. There is a laundry list of items we can thank him for, including his work on teacher housing and decreasing the prison population and immigrant rights. But today, we are thanking him for authoring Assembly Bill 1014, the Learning Communities for School Success program. As a result of the bill and our grant, the district was awarded $1.75 million to fund its student assistance project. These funds will support improved attendance rates, enhance student engagement, increase student safety and connectedness, and reduce absenteeism and suspension, dropout, and expulsion rates. All of these areas are critical to ensuring that our students have the supportive environments they need in which to learn. You'll hear more about these later in my presentation. Who's that for? And Tony, thank you for all that you do in support of the children and families of our school district. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias. Nehoma. That's all I got. I'm done. You know, I greet you that way because it's never lost on me, as the descendant of African-American slaves and immigrants from Panama, Colombia, and Jamaica, that I owe my life to education. And I say that in front of these students, that whatever your dreams are, all is possible with education and with the support of our teachers and our staff and those who are here. So thank you, Mr. Duffy, for this opportunity. Thank you to the board. Thank you to this community for embracing me. I sat on the stage for many years as a school board member with many of the board members who are here in very tough times when there were no resources to do all the things that were passed down to us. So when I got to Sacramento, my staff said, don't ask for any bills that ask for money. And I said, well, why would I do that? Because everything that we care about has been cut and decimated. So all of my bills asked for money, and I'm glad that we got one for West Contra Costa Unified. This is a world-class district. We have all of the great elements to make sure that every student will achieve, because every student can achieve. We have a great leader in our superintendent. We have a strong and passionate board. We have great teachers and staff, fantastic students, and incredible parents. And when we shoulder that load together, we can do great things and ensure that every single student will achieve. And you'll hear from the superintendent. This year I introduced a bill on teacher housing, and we're working hard. It's been passed. It's on its way to the governor's desk, because we know that this district and many others need support to address our teacher shortage and the lack of affordability in our state. And so I accept this award today as a down payment for all that I'm committed to continuing to do here as your legislator and as a parent in this district. Together we will achieve. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, President Block, as well, for your help. Well, hello again. This time last year, I was introducing myself to this community, my new community. I shared my journey as an educator, the motivations that led me to serve this community, where I grew up, what I value, and a little bit about my family. Last year, my wife and I were a family of 4, and any day now we will be a family of 5. I shared my core values that have been the foundation of my career for the past 22 years in education, and now my 17th year in educational leadership. As many of you know, my core values are and will always be rooted in reflection, community, and laughter. I also shared that I believe the people closest to the work must have ownership and voice in the decisions that affect them. Last year, I discussed that feedback is essential to any growth and that we learn by understanding where we need to grow. I shared my fondness for the book Drive by Daniel Pink, and that people are motivated by the ability to experience autonomy, mastery, and purpose. I told you that I believe that school can be the antidote to the harshness of the world, and to me that means we are obligated to model exactly what we want to see from our students and our staff. I told you that when our students get loud, we need to get quiet, and when our students get hard and hardened, we need to get soft. And when they get mean, we need to be nice. In order to do all that, we have to embrace our fears and be willing to make mistakes. We have to learn from those mistakes and use those lessons in our growth. And most of all, we have to be willing to adapt, grow, and change. Last year, I introduced you to my youngest son, Leo, who loved high socks. I think it has something to do with my affinity for basketball and love of my New York Knicks and those retro 70s and 80s athletic tube socks. A year ago, we couldn't get Leo to part with those socks. He wore them everywhere and with everything. Today, it's a different story. Literally, the day after last year's event, the day after I thought I shared a little too much about my family, the day after I showed a picture of my own son in his long socks, Leo flipped a switch. In one day, Leo just announced, "I don't wear those anymore." And from that day, Leo has moved on to short ankle socks only. I share Leo's story because to me it represents many things. One, kids are weird, fickle, unpredictable, annoying, and surprising. And we have to be there to support them all the way. And two, change can and does happen. Leo is not fixed to a specific wardrobe calling. He's an example of what is possible. Where we are today doesn't mean we will be bound to that place tomorrow, or a month from now, or a year from now. Change is possible. As a district and a community, we have to adopt that mindset. We need to continue the progress we have made, and we need to go further. As a district, we have 30,000 families who are counting on us to be the best we can be. I spent much of my first year meeting and talking with many of the people in this room. I also made it a priority to meet and listen with our parents, teachers, and school staff, and district administrators. I learned a ton. I learned this is a big, complicated, beautiful, crazy, passionate, dedicated, wild, loyal place full of history and tradition. A place of true heroes and legends, and of course, a variety of tall tales. Last year at this event, I shared with you a number of initial observations. One, I noted the high class at the secondary level, high class sizes at the secondary level. The lack of professional development opportunities for our staff, and the need for stronger recruitment and retention of key staff, particularly teachers. In just 1 year, we made great strides. We allocated significantly more teachers at the high school level to reduce class size, as well as worked diligently with our teachers union to examine master schedules and ensure balanced class loads across our schools. We also added 4 more days of professional learning for our new teachers from simply 1 to 5, hosted 200 teachers for a week of Readers and Writers Workshop, and reorganized internally to create more cohesion in our organization. While we have a long way to go to becoming the shining star we want to be for every community and every school, let's take an opportunity to share together a few more of our accomplishments over the past year and then share some of our challenges. We successfully added assistant principals and counselors to help strengthen school climate and culture and support instruction and parent engagement. We were one of 30 districts in the state to receive a significant grant to tackle our challenges around attendance and truancy. And 200 more students enrolled in our schools this year. That includes the work to expand our dual immersion programs. We opened the West County Mandarin School, the East Bay's lone district-run whole school Mandarin immersion school with 3 kindergarten classes and nearly 70 new families to our community. And we added an additional Spanish dual immersion kindergarten class at Washington Elementary. We made targeted investments in our Kennedy family of schools, one of our most underserved communities. But we didn't just add additional funding to those schools, we added a set of capacity building supports to create systems and structures for long-term success. And we did it all while finding a way to increase teacher compensation and compensation for all of our employees. In addition, retention of key staff was the strongest it's been in 5 years. For starters, 91%, or 51 of our 54 principals returned to our schools. On the teaching front, we still hired 170 classroom teachers. But if you discount retirements over both of the past 2 years, we actually hired 23% fewer classroom teachers this year as compared to last. Our reclassification numbers are the highest in 3 years, with close to 1,100 students being redesignated as English proficient last year. And our suspension rates continued to drop for all of our student populations. In just 1 year, overall suspensions decreased 15%, and suspensions for willful defiance decreased by 42% overall, 44% for African American students, and 38% for our Latino students. I'll talk more about some of the disproportionality that still exists later, but we're very proud of those numbers. The overall progress we made in 1 year is great news for our students, their families, and our district. And while we celebrate those gains, we still need to go further and faster. Our families are counting on us. Now, I just provided a lot of information to you, and those of you who have heard me speak before, I try to model good teacher practice and not talk for a long time. So I'm going to ask you to turn to your tables, pause for a minute, and share anything that stood out to you in that data that we just shared. I'll give you a few minutes at your tables. Let me bring you back. While there are pockets of wealth and resource throughout our community, close to 7 in 10 of our students qualify for free and reduced lunch. And for some of our students, their families, and even members of our staff, there are now increased fears about their safety and status with the elimination of the DACA program. Just yesterday, a talented young teacher approached me and said he was under the DACA program and asked what I could do to help him. With so many futures in the balance, we need to be the safe haven for our families. We have to be the place of hope, inspiration, and possibility. To become that place, we're going to have to tackle our challenges. So let's get into some of the struggles as evidenced by our data. Early indications from our SBAC look flat. We're still awaiting the state to release the 2016-17 results, which could be in the next week or month, or we don't know. I had planned to throw out a few hand signals related to our proficiency because I'm not allowed to talk about it, but the good advice from staff was to not even do that. So, on a serious note, the assessment data that we do have around literacy shows a need to focus on and support our families and school sites around that literacy. The latest STAR reading proficiency data, that's our in-house reading diagnostic exam, revealed that 66% of our 2nd through 8th grade students need intervention, with 44% of those students labeled or requiring urgent intervention. Math assessments have not happened, but our SBAC scores for the previous 2 years have been flat, with 24% of students meeting or exceeding the standards. At the secondary level, we continue to have a record number of students taking the AP and SAT. However, our pass rates for the AP exams have decreased by 12% over the past year, and our SAT scores in all 3 areas lag behind the state's mean average. And while we don't have our graduation rates or A to G rates from last year, from our first year together, we do have the data from 2015-16. During that time, our graduation rate dipped slightly from 84.7% to 83.1%, and at the same time, our A to G rates increased from 41.8% to 44%. Finally, as mentioned, our suspension rates have declined across all groups, but our African American students are still being suspended at a disproportionate rate, and we must end that problem. And what have we heard from our staff? Internally, we know that 8 out of 10 employees are proud to work at their school or in their department. 8 out of 10 also reported they have the freedom to do their job well. 9 out of 10 reported feeling a sense of accomplishment. 1 of 4 said they didn't believe they received proper support and feedback. 7 of 10 said they'd like to know what other schools are working on. And most shockingly, 1 in 4 employees say they fear retribution for speaking up. This summer, we also facilitated extended exit interviews with 80 of our former teachers over the past 3 years and learned 3 things mattered to them in their decision to leave our district. 1, compensation. 2, a collaborative culture, which includes professional development, training, and principal leadership. And 3, working conditions such as supplies, materials, and the physical plant. Our retention challenges are affecting our most underserved communities in the Kennedy and Richmond family of schools. In the Kennedy family of schools alone, we had to replace nearly 40% of our teachers. We need stability and continuity in order to build the positive and collaborative cultures that can best help our students grow. A few other items to report on. Financially, we enter this year with a projected structural deficit of $6 million and with healthy reserves to keep the district stable. Our work now is to bring our budget into balance for the coming years ahead. Last year, we launched the Citizens Transparency Tool that gives the public access and insight to the district's finance. Our enrollment is both a strength and a concern. Earlier, I mentioned our enrollment is up overall in this district 200 students from last year at this time. Specifically, our enrollment is up in our elementary schools, but down significantly in our secondary schools, giving us a clear indication of where parents want to see us improve our work. Finally, we've increased our communication to community and staff, utilizing all our channels in an effort to provide accurate and timely information. We know we have to build on and continue this work, and we realize we must alter the way we've done things, even from last year. Our families need us to keep moving forward. They're seeking life changes that start and end with education. But how do we, and most importantly, how do we get comfortable with our new socks? We don't have the luxury of one day simply deciding to wear totally different socks or simply changing our ways with the snap of a finger. We must change our approach, and to do that, we must change our culture. Our data and employee feedback have us embarking on a set of ambitious goals. By 2022, we want to transform this district into one where our students are achieving, our community and stakeholders are engaged, and our employees are invested. So what does that mean? First, it means that 80% of our students are college ready and meet the A to G requirements. Not just so that they're eligible for UC and CSU, but because it prepares them for a career, and even more importantly, it fosters a love of learning, a drive to master the most rigorous material, and graduate with a comprehensive education. Right now, 44% of our students graduate completing the A to G requirements. Second, we need to increase our collaboration and communication with all of our communities. Our communities, families, and stakeholders need to know all of the exciting things and options available within our schools. But we can't settle for informing. We must commit to engaging our communities so they become our best and strongest allies. A more engaged community will lead to more families selecting our schools and reporting high levels of satisfaction with programs, teachers, and staff. And third, by 2022, 80% of our employees will stay with us, those who start, for at least 5 years. Right now, we retain half of our employees for 5 years. So how will we go from 4 out of 10 students that are ready to succeed in college to 8 out of 10? How will we increase the levels of support, collaboration, and partnerships with our families and community stakeholders? And how are we going to stem the tide of our employees leaving us in their first 3 years? Well, we have to start with our own school and district culture. We have to become the destination district in the Bay Area, both for our students and our employees. At our August district-wide staff meeting, I implored our 3,000 plus employees to not let our culture eat our strategy. I encouraged our staff to adopt a learning everyday attitude and make it the theme of the year. We need our culture to reflect a welcoming, loving, and safe environment in our front offices, and we need that feeling to extend into our hallways and our classrooms. We aim to create a culture of learning where our staff is constantly digging into all the data available to make the wisest decisions possible about our students. We need our culture to be so deeply respectful of our parents and families so that constant, clear, and positive communication between home and school is the norm. Our culture needs to be so strong that we trust one another so deeply that we can disagree without walking away. We need to push and respectfully challenge each other beyond our comfort zones. We have to be open to conversations about race, equity, and what good schools look like without labeling people this or that. 1 in 4 employees cannot fear speaking their truth in this district. It is our culture that will push us to be the best district in the Bay Area. And once we lay the foundation for that culture, we have to support our people and hold them accountable for their performance. This year, we have focused on 6 areas that we're calling 6 investments for high impact. These are areas of additional resources, support, and agency given to our people. They are school sites, school leaders, communities of practice, language learning and English language development, a set of prioritized schools, teachers, and students, and a learning organization. As I started to write and explain all of these investments and what they do and how they work, I realized there's a lot to talk about. And good thing for us, pretty much everyone in this room knows where to find me. So if you want more detail on any of these items, just reach out. You should know that we've already started to develop plans for next year and beyond. Those plans will have the next set of priority investments. Some will stay the same, and some may change depending on our needs. While there are many things happening, we are clearly focused on getting our young ones reading, our middle-aged kids proficient in language and academics, and our high school students succeeding in rigorous courses of study. So how can you help? These are the strides we are making within our schools and departments and with our staff and our students. Is all of this going to work? Yes. Is all of this going to work? Yes, it is. And yes again. And on your tables, you will see 2 cards wrapped in Learning Every Day, bracelets that were left over from our staff gathering. Please note a questionnaire that says 3 things. The first thing it says is, I'm excited to hear about, and I won't finish that sentence. The second thing it says is, one thing that resonated with me today was, and the third thing that says, I have a question about. So we wanted to ask you to take a few minutes at your table to share what you heard with people there, and then share with us your thoughts by jotting down a few notes on those pages. So I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes at your tables to share, and we've given you some space to share a few questions, things that resonate, and what might need more explanation. Let me bring you back. You can also fill out the questionnaire through the rest of this program. And we ask when you're done, there's actually one more little activity. You can put everything back in the neat manila envelopes at your tables. So to ensure the work is successful and that our students are achieving, we're going to need your partnership and help. There are nearly 300 people in this room today. We're not going to be able to get to 80% of our students college ready or a more engaged community or 80% of our employees staying without you. So today we're going to introduce you to 3 upcoming campaigns and to ask for your help. On October 5th, we'll debut 3 community campaigns led by our executive directors. I'm going to ask them to stand so you can see the people leading these efforts. The first is an early literacy campaign led by Sarah Breed, our new Executive Director of Teaching, Learning, and Leadership. Our work here is to get every 3rd grader reading on grade level. The second is an A to G completion campaign led by Ann Shin, the new Executive Director of College and Career. And last is a reclassification campaign led by Lisa Jimenez, the new Executive Director of Multilingual and Multicultural Services. We need your help in spreading the word and awareness about what early literacy, college readiness, and reclassification are and why they are important. You'll see on your tables a postcard detailing information about our campaign kickoff event, And please take a few moments to fill out the back of the card and on which campaign most interests you, and then place it in the envelope on the table. So please don't forget to join us on October 5th. We know the data. We know the data around all three campaigns, and we know how essential these three are to our roadmap goals. But we're going to need your help to ensure that our communities, all of our communities, know the importance of this work. These campaigns and our 5-year roadmap are a result of our LCAP process, lots of previous planning documents, and most important, a year of listening from you. I cannot reiterate enough how important it is for us as a community to grow, adapt, and change together. I stand here before you today because I wholeheartedly believe we have an opportunity and a responsibility to deeply impact the future of so many students and their families. Our students and their families are counting on us. We are molding and guiding our future leaders, business people, lawyers, doctors, educators, entrepreneurs, and social activists. That is why we are doing all this work, because the next President of the United States or developer of some technology we haven't seen or thought about is sitting in our classrooms. And the only way we're going to get there is together. So please join us. And if you need any high socks for any reason, give me a call, although you never know, I may need them back. Thank you, and have a great morning. Thank you again.